In the last 30 minutes of rugby that they played, Wales have been winners by 21 points to 0. Can they bring that form back to Cardiff? Hello, amateurs. Welcome back to our Six Nations series, here with you throughout the Championship and beyond. So hit subscribe down below to make sure you don't miss out on any future episodes. Now, last time out against Scotland, Wales came surging back and just ran out of time. But it was a great game. Myself and Taff looked at it, and I'll link it up there for you to go and check out our full match review. And it included one particular bit of really amateur play, which made us both chuckle. But today I'm going to be looking at the Wales team that I think will be selected to play against England this coming Saturday, Super Saturday, and it's the middle game. And Wales looking for their first win, not just of this championship, but for quite some time. And wouldn't they love to get it against England? That would be the perfect recipe for them, the perfect recipe for Matt Sherratt to walk out of the job that he's had for 3 games. Perfect recipe for every Welsh supporter around, I have no doubt. Okay, some squad updates for Wales. Out are Josh Adams and Tom Rogers. Rogers fractured his thumb in the opening 10 minutes. I think it actually did it in the very first Scottish try when he jumped in to try and cut off Darcy Graham. They're both out and nobody is coming to replace them. Similar with the Italians, you get to this stage of the squad, and especially with outside backs, bringing players in for just a few training sessions probably doesn't make sense. So nobody coming to replace them. Now, against the Scots, it felt like a really heavy defeat in lots of ways, but it really was just a few defensive errors, a few things they got wrong, which were really brutally and clinically exploited by the Scots early doors, as Scotland can do to absolutely anybody. Wales showed a lot of heart and energy to come back late in the game and scored some good tries. So, yeah, it felt like they were out of this game for a long time, but plenty to take heart from, I think. In terms of selection, what do we expect to see? Well, I think Matt Sherratt has kind of nailed his colours to the mast a little bit here. And I think he's decided on the players that he wants to go through this 3-game sequence. And I don't see him changing too much. I think he's got a formula that people seem to be comfortable with, happy with, and are getting some performances on the pitch with, most importantly. So I don't see there being too many reasons for change. Let's take a look at the forwards that I think will get selected here on Saturday. And we have gone with exactly the same. I thought for a moment about whether Dowie Lake coming back, having that amount of time on the pitch, just raises fitness a little bit. Maybe he would start as a better player probably than Elliot Dee overall. But Dee's done well. His lineout's been great, and I think having Lake to come on later in the game to see this game out could be a big plus for them. I also thought about Teddy Williams, who did great off the bench against the Scots, but Will Rowlands was brilliant against the Irish previous to that as well. And Daft Jenkins has been, man, the guy's a workaholic. He makes so many tackles, clears so many rucks. He's integral to the functioning of this Welsh pack. So it's tough. I think Teddy Williams does deserve a start, but I think he also had a great load of impact from the bench as well. Into the back row and absolutely carrying on with the 2-7s. England have had trouble at times with their attacking breakdown when they've tried to attack anyway. So I think having Morgan and Reffell there is going to continue to be a really good choice for this Welsh squad for this fixture. And of course, Taulupi Faletau making a late run for another Lions tour. He was brilliant again against the Scots. He is such a baller, and age seems to make no difference to him. He is playing exceptionally well. Into the backs, and I've tried to keep it as similar as possible. Rogers out injured on the wing, so I've just gone with Hathaway, the Gloucester winger, who's done a lot of good things this season, to come straight in and replace him. There was the option, of course, of moving Llewellyn to the wing and putting Robertson at the centre, who's been playing well. But I think they want to cement these combinations. They've been playing well for Wales, and I think they want to disrupt as little as possible. So I think that's what they'll go with. Also, a potential change would have been Jared Evans in for Anscombe. Evans did great off the bench up in Scotland, but that game was dead in the water by the time he came on, essentially. Scots had really eased off. Finn Russell had gone off the pitch. It was a very different game, a very different environment to the one that Anscombe had at the start. And Anscombe showed a couple of nice touches, putting the kick over for Murray to score. But generally, I thought he was just a little bit off his game. I thought he was defensively a little bit hesitant, shall we say, for the very first try by Blair Kinghorn. And there was a couple of other things as well where he just didn't seem to be quite on it. He wasn't quite taking the ball to the line with the same conviction that he did against the Irish. All that being said, I still think he's the right man to lead this Wales backline against England on Saturday. Ellis Mee continues to impress in his short international career. Thomas Williams, I thought was at fault for the first Scottish try, but he's still Wales' best 9 by some distance. And Blair Murray, despite some problems in the air, shall we say, he's not the tallest, but man, when he gets the ball, he's exciting and he's physical and he's elusive. So I think you definitely pick him for his positives there, no question. Onto the bench, and we have, I think, exactly the same bench as last time. Yeah, again, no reason to change. I thought Azarati, who had come onto the bench for Henry Thomas, actually improved the scrum when he came onto the pitch. The Welsh scrum got better as the game went on, possibly having a real scrummaging hooker like Dowie Lake there alongside him was a huge benefit to that as well. And then all the other guys, there's lots of dynamism to come on here. There's lots of pace. There's lots of ways to change the game if Wales want to or need to do that later in the match. Okay, what do I want to see from this Welsh team? Well, I think that they probably need to play a very fast game, in my opinion. I think if they get into a kicking battle with England, they'll probably lose. I think if they get into trying to compete in the air against England, they'll probably lose because there's whispers that Freeman's going to be playing 13 and Tom Roebuck might be picked on the wing. So that is aerially very strong from the English. I think Wales need to play fast. I think they need to play fluid. And I think they need to try and get the ball wide and wide as often as they can, because England have been shown to make errors around the numbers on each side of the ruck. And then if Wales can pass quickly and accurately and get their better players into space, that's how they'll cause England trouble. And on the flip side, they need to, England are going to obviously come and try and go direct, I would imagine, straight off. So Wales need to tackle like they did against the French. It's easy to forget, but Wales actually defended like the centre part of the field really well against the French in that opening fixture. They battled really hard. They made all their tackles against that enormous French pack, and France had to resort, or they had to wait until the space became available right on the wide outside to exploit. So Wales are going to need to do that, and I do sense that England are going to go aerial. If Roebuck's playing, I think that's a statement of intent in that regard, and I think England will really back their players in the air against the Welsh, and they'll use that to get territory. They'll use that to get unstructured play. So Wales are somehow going to have to get up in the air, win as many balls as possible, be really reactive as well when those knockdowns come in all that loose play. They're going to have to be really comfortable in chaos there, because otherwise that's where England could get some joy. Alrighty, that is what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Sherratt is going to go much the same? He's going to be really consistent? Or do you think he's going to bring in some changes? Are there some players that I've picked that you think didn't really perform too much over the last 2 weeks, and maybe a change would be good in terms of ability at the moment? Let me know in the comments down below. Like I say, give this video a thumbs up while you're down there. If you don't mind, helps other people find it. And you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next. And don't forget to go out and play.